welcome to Ladies of Business Rockaway Beach's April meeting / workshop. I'm pleased to introduce our guest, Julie Brandt, who's a SCORE mentor and an entrepreneur extraordinaire, and she's here tonight to talk about pricing and how to set prices effectively for your business so that you are valuing yourself properly and so that you are ensuring your business will be a profitable, successful one. So thank you so much for coming, Julie. It's great to have you here.
It's my pleasure to be here. I would first like to introduce myself. I'll give you a little more of my background so that you know. I actually started a business importing jewelry from around the world, and that business evolved into a manufacturing business, which we bought some used equipment. We had a partner that did all the manufacturing. My late husband and I did all the sales and designing and the product lines. And after 20 years, I sold the business. But in order to sell the business, it was important to know what my actual cost was. And in most cases, when you're in business, you just come up with the price and you don't always know what all of the costs are involved so that you can maximize your profit. So we'll be talking about that. After I sold my business, I got my MBA and I was teaching entrepreneurship on the college level. I also became a SCORE volunteer 25 years ago, and I do a lot of speaking for the organization nationally, and I've been involved in the New Haven chapter. I then moved to Las Vegas. I was involved in that chapter. I am now in Memphis at the Memphis chapter, and I'm also the district director for Alabama. And I'm also the ambassador for diversity, equity, and inclusion, which is a big initiative that National SCORE is taking to make sure that women in leadership is higher than what it is across the country. So right now there's 50% women in leadership in the Southeast, and there's 240 chapters across the country, and there are over 10,000 volunteers. All of us share our expertise with you. So if you have any business issue at all and you'd like some one-on-one business counseling, we are here to share our business expertise with you. So I've prepared a PowerPoint presentation, but first I would really like to get to know you, just with your name, the type of business, how long you've been in business, and then I can at least tailor it, whether you're product distribution or are you a service business. So tell me just a little bit about your business. And Chaya, why don't we start with you? Are you there and can I see you?
I'm here. I'm actually in bed because I have a horrible headache.
No problem. Are you able to speak?
Yeah, I mean, you can hear me, so yeah.
Yes, I can. Okay, I'm so sorry for your headache. So just give me a brief intro, please.
Oh, sure. Let's see. I have two businesses. One is medical billing, and I've been doing that for since 2007. And then the other one is lactation and birth support services. So I'm a certified IBCLC, and I have a local business, and so we do in-person and some online consults for, new and growing families.
Fantastic. Thank you. How about you, Nicole? We're introducing ourselves. Just give me a brief background of the type of business you have.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm about to get to a camera, but for now, just give me a second.
Okay, should I come back to you?
No. I can answer the question. So I own a scuba diving, free diving, and mermaiding school here in New York City.
Wow. I love scuba diving. I do it. I actually learned in my 60s how to scuba dive, and I love it. That's fantastic.
It's never too late to start. It's amazing. I'm so happy that you got to see the underwater world.
Yes. How about you, Karen? Introduce yourself, please.
Hi, I'm a board certified patient advocate. I find ways for aging icons to continue their life's mission, because when they say that nothing can be done, that just means that they don't know what to do. And I've been in business since 1976.
Wow,
And I took the
fantastic.
SCORE course as my first course ever. And I always tell people, go there first.
Thank you. Wonderful, Karen. How about you, Darius?
Hi, Julie. So I've been retired from teaching speech improvement for 4 years. And since then, I have been coming up with ways to coach women of a certain age around reinventing themselves. And so that's what I'm doing now. And so I've been doing that for like 2 years, like trying to put things together. So yeah.
Fantastic. I've had to reinvent myself a few times. So
Yeah.
we do that today.
Yeah.
So that's very much needed.
Yeah.
How about you, Riva?
I'm muted, sorry. So I reinvented myself in recent years. I was a journalist for 20 years. Now I work for a nonprofit doing grant writing and other type of content, but I have a side business as an Airbnb host, and I've been doing that for 4 years. And that I'm excited to hear about pricing, because that's like kind of my perennial issue with Airbnb, and it's always a kind of moving thing on Airbnb, you know, where the market is. And we have a very seasonal community here. So in the summer, you know, beach season, it's a totally different thing from winter and so on. So it's a challenging. But yeah, I have a 3-bedroom apartment that I rent out.
And where is it located?
It's in my house. Well, it's my house. I have a 2-family house, and I live in the upstairs and I rent out the downstairs.
So is it in Rockaway Beach? All of you are from, okay, perfect. And how far is that outside of the city?
It's about an hour on the subway, and I live 1 block from the Atlantic Ocean.
Oh, fantastic. I love that. Samantha, please introduce yourself.
Yeah. Hi. How are
Hi.
you? So I own a business called Nurture You Wellness, and we provide massage therapy, and I collaborate with 2 other professionals. They offer clinical psychology and acupuncture. And now I am delving into the world of crystals and started a little company called Rockaway Gems. Motivated by my daughter, who has abandoned me. She went to Hawaii and she's like, I want to do this business. So I started it, and then she went to Hawaii. So it's all good. And that's what we do. And I'm right here in Rockaway Beach also.
Wonderful. So I used to teach at the Connecticut Center for Massage Therapy, and I'm really into crystals. I love it. And massage.
Oh.
I get all of you. And Galit, last but not least, introduce yourself.
Hi, so I am financial strategist Galit Sadiq. I own a virtual CFO business. I do virtual CFO services, bookkeeping, anything that is needed in a small business as far as finances. And I also do financial wellness coaching. And I've been in business for 6 years now.
Wonderful. So all of you are in a service business, and my business was a product distribution business. So what I'll do is I'll skip over that. Let me share my screen. And you know, Galit is somebody, and as we go through the slides, she is somebody that can help you figure out your profit margin, because she can identify costs that we don't always realize. And that's what a financial person can do for you. All of my business experience was learning as you go. So, and this comes from my own business experience. So we're going to be talking about maximizing your pricing and your profits. We're going to talk about evaluating your business, understanding profit and loss, pricing your products and services, and I'll really gear more towards services, really knowing what your expenses are and how to generate more profits. And of course, the service and product distribution, different channels, how to increase sales, and of course, always exceeding customers' expectations. So the first and foremost is thinking about the industry that your business is in. Is it a growing industry or is it declining? You know, it sounds to me that everyone in this room, it's growing. I don't see any business that any of you have that seems to be declining. Have you evaluated all your expenses? So I can tell you that after I sold my business, and literally one day I had 100 employees and the next day I had nowhere to go and nothing to do and no income per se, I really had to sit down and write down what are my monthly personal expenses. And I kind of had an idea of what that was, but when I really wrote it down, it actually was double what I had thought. So does everybody know what their personal expenses are? So that's a good exercise to go through because that will help you know how much income you need to make in your business, how much profit you need to make to cover your business expenses as well as your personal expenses. And always think about how you can reduce your expenses. And where are the customers that you need for your business? Have you identified all the different markets of who would be interested in the services that you're providing? And of course, the visibility that you have in the community is important in nurturing and getting business. And always, can you deliver more benefits and values to the customers and be different than the competition? And how are you keeping customers coming back? So again, the profit and loss is very simple. And Galit, anytime you can just jump in if you have anything to add or if I missed anything. But really the first and foremost is, now let me ask you, are all of you home-based businesses or do you have an actual office? Tell me, you can unmute and tell me because we're a small group.
Yeah, I'm at home.
I have an actual office.
Okay.
I'm out at people's home. I go to other people's homes.
Oh, you go to others. Okay, very good.
It's Nicole. I'm not putting my camera on because my
No
dog's running.
problem, no problem.
I'm home-based, but I do rent out pools, and so I have to do some of my activities, you know, at a pool.
Got it. With the overhead costs. Okay, very good. So
Yeah.
in all of these cases, we need to know how much money is needed to run the business. Know the cash flow is what they call it. All the money that's coming in that your customers are paying you and how much you have to spend in order to cover the rentals and when you're traveling with gas prices going up. And also, there are certain fixed costs every single month. So if you do have an office, you know there are certain fixed costs every single month, whether you sell $1 or $100,000. So you have to know what that is and any of the variable costs. So our goal really is to increase your profit margins by lowering expenses, your overhead, and all of those expenses by really increasing sales, right? So the other thing is to have a reserve for any unexpected cost you may have. And the reserve, they're saying it used to be, 3 months. Now they're saying even 6 months to make sure that you can cover your personal expenses for 6 months. And Galit, what do you say with your clients?
Yeah, so I like them to have at least 6 months, especially with what's going on in the world.
Yes.
You need to have a little cushion just in case, and we saw that pretty clearly 2.5 years ago.
Exactly. So I'm glad that we're on the same page. That's good to know. And we all know that we're in business to make a profit. Without a profit, there's really no business. So the other thing that's important to know is, who are your competitors? Your indirect and direct competitors. And we want to know what they're doing well and where the gap is. What is it that they're not doing? So if you, and I can tell you in my business, which I built for 20 years, at the time when you're manufacturing jewelry, and it may not be relevant, let me put it more in a service business. Making an appointment with a doctor, how long do you have to wait for that appointment? It's 2 or 3 months out in most cases. So if you could find a doctor that could see you within 2 or 3 days, you're providing exceptional service. And are you calling a business? Are they answering their phone? Or is there an answering service? And I know that when I'm calling, so I really just moved to Memphis in August from Las Vegas, and I was calling a lot of people to do a lot of things. And, you know, electricians, clean, everything I needed. And when I heard an answering machine, I hung up and went to the next person. I want to speak to you. If you can't answer your phone, I'm not going to do business with you. So you want to know what your competition is doing. Are you able to give faster service? Are you able to provide better service? You need to know how long they've been in business and what is their reputation. How can you be better than all those businesses that are mediocre out there that still are in business, which I can't understand? You walk into a store, you have service that isn't good service, and they're still in business. So you need to be better than the competition. What are their business practices? Can you do it better? Are they doing something that you love that you want to do as well? So you always want to look at what other people are doing. And in many, many cases, people start their businesses first by working for the competition. So for example, a hairdresser would be in a hair salon, and once they've got their clients, then they go on their own. The massage therapist that I mentored years and years ago needed 35 clients before she could actually justify getting her own office to do massage therapy, because she had enough recurring business and regular clients so that she could cover her overhead. So you work for the competition to learn the business, and you decide what you can do better than the competition. And you want to also do business with the competition. Don't be afraid to call the competition and just say, I'd like to make an appointment. Can you help me? And see what they say and go through the exercise. So that's a way to do your due diligence and learn what they're charging and how they're doing business. So I guess, again, is there a demand for your service? And what is the perceived value of what you're offering? The benefits to the customer is really how you're going to get that customer to pay you. And how much are they willing to pay? So it depends, you know, different places charge different prices, and it depends what the market will bear. I know that in New York City, I was paying $70 for hair color. And in Memphis, I'm paying $115 for hair color. So it just depends on where you live and what people are charging. And how can you enhance the customer service and the customer experience? So when you go in and get your nails done, let's say, and they give you the back massage after, that gives you a very warm feeling of we are appreciated, and they're willing to make us feel even more relaxed after getting our nails done. And how can you nurture those relationships and get repeat business? All of you need to set up the next appointment with all of your clients. That's the goal, or to make sure that they check in regularly and you can give them, you know, a tune-up. You give them whatever they need to make sure that you're always in mind. And of course, the best business is always referrals. So when a customer is happy, they tell their friends, and their friends will want to go to you as well. And again, it's all about cash. Businesses fail because they run out of cash. Excuse me. And they don't know what their total monthly expenses are. Another reason is the management, poor management. They don't know how to run the business. So you want to write down all your expenses. And as I said, you may be very surprised and not realize that you spend a lot more than you think. So these are, now this probably doesn't relate to you. Does anybody give credit? No, because you're a service business. So let's skip this one because this is really geared to, so we can talk a little bit about this. It's all about the profit. So how many hours in the day do you have to serve your clients? And how much is your maximum amount of income if you're charging by the hour? In order, so you really need to know, I can see, you know, some businesses can see 10 clients a day at 100 an hour, depending on if you charge for a full hour, if it's a 45-minute hour. You know, massage therapists, sometimes it's a 50-minute hour. So again, how many services can you provide in a day in order to make the maximum profit? And what are the other ways you can maximize profits? You sell other items that they may want to buy. So if you're doing massage and you're selling crystals, the crystals are a different income stream. So you can make more money. And if you're buying those crystals, are you buying them at the very lowest price? Your services are clearly your services, you know, your expertise. The one way to help with cash flow is to sell gift cards, memberships, or offer subscriptions. So I can tell you, I had multiple retail stores, and when I sold gift certificates, when I closed my store, 50% of those gift certificates were never used. So that is a way for cash to come into the business. And again, increasing sales by always keeping those customers coming back. And we all know that without customers and profits, there is no business. So we want to look at the direct and indirect expenses daily to find out how much revenue we need. And this is very simple and remedial. A lot of the information I'm sharing, you already know. I'm reinforcing what you already know. So you want to make sure that you can cover your daily expenses so that you know how many more people you need to see to make the profit you need to make the money that you need. And of course, always have a reserve for any unexpected expenses that you may have. Repairs, equipment, inventory, supplies, anything that you need. Now, there are a lot of overlooked expenses in businesses. Shipping costs. When you purchase something that you need for your business, many times a customer, a business owner doesn't include the shipping costs. So on the crystals, how much is it for you to get those crystals? Are you including the shipping costs before you mark it up? And of course, there's interest on any loans and credit cards. Does anyone have a loan for their business? Let me see if I could see all of you. So I'm showing that there's 8 people, but I'm only seeing 6 on the screen. Raise your hand if you have a loan for your business. Okay, debt-free. Oh, you do have a loan. Okay.
Yep.
So I can tell you that, of course, you have to include the interest on the loans as part of your monthly expense. Inventory cost if you have product. I had, in order to, I guess I'm not going to give you information that's not relevant to you, but I can tell you if you have inventory, usually that you need 3 times the amount of inventory to sell. So I had $3 million worth of inventory to do $1 million worth of sales a year. So just know with inventory, you need a lot more in order to sell. And you also have to be aware of obsolete inventory that's been sitting a long time. So professional fees are expenses that many businesses overlook. Commissions, labor, any kind of payroll. Does anybody have employees? Raise your hand. Okay, so only you, Galit. And you know this, so I'm not gonna, you know everything I'm saying, right? So let me move on. and just say, we do sometimes have unexpected expenses, and that's what the reserve is all about.
Yeah.
So
When you
here,
talked about, sorry, loans. I mean, I pay my mortgage with my earnings from my Airbnb. I don't know if you have that in your mind when you're thinking about a loan, but it's a
well,
loan.
the mortgage is going to tell you what you need to charge for your Airbnb. And I think what I'd like to do is at the end of the presentation, I would like to make sure I answer all of your questions. And we could talk about the Airbnb, but here's a few pricing strategies to think about. So there's a cost plus, and I had this with product. You're buying something and you're marking it up depending on the profit that you need. So for my retail store, my accountant helped me analyze all my expenses, and I needed a 2.5 time markup in order to have a 40% profit margin. So that was my markup that I needed to be successful and profitable. And that allowed me, if I needed to give a discount. So you make sure there's enough profit if you give a discount. Now, professional coaching or, volunteer, recruit, what are you doing? The grant writing, there's no discounts. Most of you are never going to offer a discount. So again, we'll just figure out what the market will bear as far as your hourly rate. There's demand-based pricing. So you're going to charge more when there's more demand. So we know Valentine's Day, you pay more for roses and chocolate, don't you? And then there's hourly pricing. So sometimes you can charge an hourly rate, but have a minimum. So if there's a person going to someone's house, it could be $100 for the first hour and $75 every hour after that, with a minimum of 3 hours, or whatever you decide, so that you know that you're making enough for the travel time and an hourly wage. And then there's fixed fee pricing. So you just charge a flat fee for the job. So for a massage, $80 or $90, that's what it costs for an hour, unless you want to add on other things. But identify the parameters to ensure that you're charging enough, depending on what it is that you're offering. And of course, the materials. Now there's value pricing, which is really, what is a customer willing to pay? For example, when we go to Tiffany's, we know we're going to pay more for that blue box with the white bow. And there is that added value, the perceived value of the product is being higher and more exclusive. Bundle pricing is bundling items to upsell. You're going to buy more and you're going to save by buying more. And there's psychological pricing. So everybody likes the $9.99 or the buy one, get one free, or get a free gift with every purchase. And then of course we go to Starbucks and we get 10 coffees and we get one free, right? With our stars. So again, incentive types of things. So this is product. Let's move on. These are some shrinking profits. So when you're in business, these are the things that take the profit out of your pocket. If you have too much payroll, with products, returns, theft, damage. If you have someone that's supposed to charge an hourly rate and they give away time, that's like theft, right? If people owe you money for more than 90 days, you're going to be making less profit. And of course, any inventory that you have that's sitting around. And the other thing is, if you're not able to deliver service, you are losing profit. You have to maybe hire someone to help you if you're able to, in order to, if there's more demand for your service and you can't do it, you bring in someone else who can, right? So again, my minimum profit margin is greater than 15%. I'm not sure, that doesn't apply to hourly wage, but in product distribution, I like more than 15%. Increasing products is really selling more, but if you're one person, then you bring on other people so you can sell more. So you're going to pay somebody, for example, You know, a cleaning service pays their cleaners $25 an hour and they're charging 50 or 100 an hour. So you bring in more people. Decrease labor. If you don't need someone on your payroll, you don't want them to come in. If you only need one person, maybe you need a part-time person rather than a full-time person. And any way that you can decrease your overhead costs, you know, there's always deals on internet, cell phones, you know, promotions, anything you can do to decrease any costs, your everyday costs, always you get more profit, the less you spend. So decrease spending, raise your credit line, go to the bank and ask the banker to raise your credit line. And you want higher credit limits on your credit cards. Do you know that you can lower the interest rates on loans in your credit cards? You can always have the late fees waived. I mean, there were times when I just didn't get to it. I forgot about it. They waived the late fees, and you can negotiate payment terms and credit terms from anybody that you do business with. Again, increasing sales. This is more product distribution, but online presence, co-branding or collaborating with other people can increase your sales. I don't know if anybody does any partnership things so that you can see a bigger audience. Those are some ways with service businesses. And since Galit, you're the only one with employees, this is a few ways you want to empower your employees to communicate, to motivate them. But you know what? Think about your clients. You want to be able to motivate clients to do business with you. You know, these are, again, employees. If you need to reduce employees, offer unemployment, do they need to be in the office or can they work from home? Empower employees with training, knowledge, and skills. If you need to ever hire anyone, offer incentives for any employee in helping you with marketing or, you know, building your business. And your employees, I have to tell you, understand your business much better than you do. And if there's any issues, they're the ones that can help you with any solution. And always thank your employees and your customers. Show gratitude. Our employees are our biggest assets, and so are our clients. Without them, there's you know, we have nothing. So you need to nurture those relationships. So purchasing and product planning for a physical store, we'll skip over. Here we go with service businesses, labor, supplies, and miscellaneous expenses. So whatever expenses come along with your labor. There may be vehicle costs, gas, travel time. Of course, you have your insurance, your professional fees. It's your labor cost per hour per job. So you need to always include any supplies you use, even if it's a pad, a pen, anything, your internet, whatever it is that you need to use has to be part of your cost and overhead. You know, in some cases you have malpractice insurance or workman's comp, you have liability insurance, professional association fees, and you really need to know how many billable hours, the maximum billable hours per day, so that you can you can figure out if you can make enough money doing what it is that you're doing. And of course, there's the online. Anybody doing any online business? Okay, maybe social media just for visibility. And these are some things that you have to take into consideration. Again, expenses, hosting fees, marketplace fees, search engine optimization, any kind of sales you do online, there's fees. Now, customer loyalty, creating more value to the customer. So, for example, you know, restaurants may give you a complimentary appetizer. In all of your businesses, there's something you can give, a little added something to make them feel special and make them feel good. If you wrote a book, give them a copy of the book, anything that you can give them. If you're selling anything, of course, the packaging is important. In my business, I was selling silver and gold by weight, but when I added a stone to a piece of jewelry, it was a higher perceived value. I could charge a lot more money for that. And always give a free gift with purchase, free services. You can sell bundles in your, offer 5 sessions for a lower price. Warranties, customer loyalty programs are always good. And of course, referrals. All of you really need referrals to get more customers. And the customer experience is the number one, really. How do customers feel when they do business with you? What is it that you can do for them? It's all about the customer. How can we support them, make them, feel better, give them the added support. When I was doing the scuba diving classes, I know the teacher came to my house and taught me in my pool, so I didn't have to go anywhere, and she gave me extra time so I could pass. And she really gave me that personalized care. So again, you want to be personalized in any experience that you're giving your customers. And again, as we say, customers are key. Without a customer, there's no business. So you want to ask them, is there anything else you can do for them? Can you offer them a tip of some kind? Anything. Initiate, I'm thinking about you. If you haven't heard from them, keep in touch with them regularly with phone calls, text, email, send them a card. Constant visibility and contact is going to increase business. And I'll tell you, I had a jewelry store and there was a guy that was selling jewelry. And I'll tell you, every single month he came to the store, whether I needed jewelry or not, I always bought from him. He was there and I couldn't resist. So just seeing him, I bought. So again, having that visibility is really important, and again, valuing your customers, getting to know them, remembering their name. In a retail store, I met hundreds of people and my weakness was not knowing their name or anything about them. That's very important to get personal. Recognize birthdays and holidays. And here's some money tips. Again, don't be afraid to ask. Raise your credit line, lower your interest rates, lower finance charges, negotiate a lower rent, negotiate anything you're purchasing, have the late fees, negotiate payment extensions. If you have credit from someone, you can ask for more credit if you need an extra 30 days. Credit terms are really important in business. And the money that you save can really be put aside for unexpected expenses. And also, every statement you get in the mail, you have to review and look at to make sure there are no extra fees. Because sometimes you get a bank statement and there's something there on a credit card that you didn't buy. Pay bills on time to prevent late charges and interest. Buy used at thrift stores or consignment shops. Sell to generate income, anything you're not using. Recycle and repurpose. Find free things online. Take advantage of promotions and closeouts. Always think about saving money. And know that business is never easy. Your gut is always right. If you're in business and it doesn't quite feel right, you are right. It's not right. And make sure that you have that professional team of advisors, your accountant, your insurance agent, your banker, a SCORE volunteer. We're here for you. Network as much as you can in the community. Work with other small businesses. Collaborate and support each other. And utilize all the free resources that are available. There are so many free resources for small businesses. And you just need to know where they are. You can do a Google search and find them all. And these are the 10 secrets to business success. Always be positive and avoid negativity. If you think success, you will be successful. You want to write down your goals. We are in our business and sometimes we're stuck and we need to write down goals. And goals, if they're not written down, are nothing unless you do something with it. And we always need to continue to learn, to get training, learning the industry, improving doing something different, doing something new. Have a plan, modify it to reflect market changes. As we saw with COVID, we all had to go to Zoom. And now we're not giving it up because we love it so much. Look at all the gas we're saving. You know, our life has changed forever because of that. And we were able to modify our businesses to reflect it. Always manage your time. Managing your time is probably the first and foremost, because we just get, you know, and it happens to all of us. We just get stuck. So you need to know how to say no. If you need to get something done, you've got to get it done, and you can't let the distractions, stop you from getting that done. Always be understanding, empathetic, and have the ability to motivate others, motivate your customers, your clients, your friends, to help you with everything. Be memorable. You know how important it is for people to know when they see you, who you are, what you do. Leave that lasting impression to set yourself apart. And success in any business comes from the passion, the enthusiasm, and the persistence that you have in just doing what you love to do. When you do what you love, it never feels like work. And always remember, you're in business to make a profit. We all can give a little bit away because we're charitable and can give back. But if you need to make a living to support your family, your children, you need to make sure that you have enough profit. And your business always needs to be enjoyable. And when it stops being fun, then it's really time to get out and reinvent yourself, figure out something else that you'd love to do. So that's what I have. And I am here. You can email me anytime if you're interested.